Good evening and welcome to the Legends Edition. I am Fayyaz Qureshi. Tonight, our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. But first, a quick look at the highlights for tonight's bulletin. And you're tuned to the best channel ever, KBC Channel 1.
Already 2.4 billion shillings have been made available.
Pain, death and destruction. Government avails 2.4 billion shillings to cushion flood victims. KCPE results goof. KNEC blames SMS platform on error. Sekafa win. National Under-18 soccer team bags victory in Under-18 championship.
Welcome back. Starting off with our top story tonight, 2.4 billion shillings has been dispersed to help Kenyans affected by floods. President William Ruto says that the government has put in place measures to cushion Kenyans against the rains that have claimed 70 lives so far and displaced over 36,000 households. Meanwhile, the ongoing floods have claimed 2 lives and displaced 1,000 people in Garemara Ward, Isiolo County.
President William Ruto on Saturday morning met a multi-agency emergency response team at State House, Nairobi. The head of state outlining some of the measures put in place to deal with the ongoing El Nino rains that have so far claimed 70 lives and displaced 36,160 households.
The Ministry of Health, working with the Council of Governors and Red Cross, will be mobilized to provide medicine commodities for water treatment, for disease management. We have also agreed with the Ministry of Roads that all the road contractors in the different parts of Kenya will now be mobilized to provide emergency intervention services to make sure that roads are opened in different parts of Kenya.
The head of state directing Kenya Defence Forces provides last-mile deliveries to counties marooned by floods. He at the same time announced the National Disaster Operations Centre has been operationalized to coordinate emergency response, with the cabinet expected to finalize a concrete intervention strategy on Monday.
The Treasury has been mandated to explore different mechanisms of funding for the requirements that will be needed, so that we can have adequate resources to manage the situation, and their recommendations should be presented to Cabinet on Monday for us to be able to appropriate those recommendations and provide the necessary leadership.
This coming as 2 people have died as a result of flooding in Garemara Ward in Isiolo County. Over 1,000 people have been evacuated to safer grounds by Isiolo County government and the Kenya Red Cross teams. A camp has been set up at Garemara Secondary School.
Tulipoteza kijana mwaka 22. Tulipoteza pia mama ya mwaka 29.
Usiku tulikuwa tunakesha na watoto juu ya lami. Hatujalala manyumbani kwa sababu maji ilikuwa inafika nyumba hapa, inafikia mtu hapa. Kila kitu yetu imebebwa na maji, makuku nini. Sisi sasa tuko maskini kabisa.
Watoto wetu hata hatuna viatu, hatuna mablanketi, hakuna kitu cha kupikia.
Tulikuwa tunaomba tu hata watusaidie na viatu na masufuria ya kupikia. Imetuacha kabisa bila makazi kwa sababu kila mahali ni bahari.
Meanwhile, property of unknown value has been destroyed after the banks of Umoja Buyu Dam bordering Laikipia and Nyandarua counties broke following heavy downpour. The area residents have faulted the contractor for substandard work and negligence. They say that despite complaining of leaking banks, no action was taken.
Tukiangalia kweli demu yetu libomoka. Wenye walijenga waliweka msingi usio mzuri. Tuna hofu sana wana kijiji hii. Maana hiyo maji tulikuwa tunaletewa ili tuweze kulima tupate mboga.
Hata ni bahati, hata manyumba zilikuwa bali na nini. Obvious penye tulikuwa tunafunga ng'ombe. Huwezi funga ng'ombe inaenda na maji. Sasa naweza sema pesa yenye nimemwaga hapa imenipeleka hasara. Mimi tutaangu ya nusu eka 28k zimeenda na maji hiyo wenyewe. Kama mimi mkaaji wa pesa naweza fanya nini mwenyewe? Sienda kuiba, nikiiba na fungo mimi mwenyewe.
Na sio Kware Legends Edition.
Kenya National Examination Council has admitted that a total of 133 candidates in the just announced Kenya Certificate of Primary Education Examination results were awarded wrong marks in some subjects. KNEC CEO David Jengere has, however, assured that all the 133 cases have been addressed and results for the affected candidates updated appropriately. This follows demands for remarking of exams following the discrepancies. Joseph Wahungu reports.
Letitia Chebet Cheriot, who sat KCPE at Bloomington School in Thika, is among hundreds of disgruntled candidates who have demanded for answers on what they term unfair results. In a rejoinder, Kenya National Examination Council (NEC) CEO David Jengere on Saturday acknowledged that 133 candidates were awarded wrong marks. Jengere said, and I quote, "NEC also received queries from candidates with low marks in some of the subjects, mainly English and Kiswahili," end of quote. And further clarified that the error affected only SMS results due to configuration issues, while the results in the NEC portal remain accurate. He advised candidates to collect their result slip from their various schools and submit their appeals within 30 days period as stipulated in the NEC rules. Jengere assured that all 133 cases have been addressed and results for the affected candidates updated appropriately.
I really did not expect such marks because I knew I had prepared very well. I had worked tooth and nail.
We have a problem with one of our learners who got 303 marks, and according to history, she has not been performing that way.
This as celebrations continue to rock schools that performed well in this year's KCPE exams. In Mombasa County, Lafay Sub-County has topped county again despite terror threats and teachers shortage.
One thing I'm very sure is that the marks these children attained will have been more than this if we had more teachers. It is due to the few teachers who have left us that this marks is what it is now. Otherwise, if we will have had more teachers, the marks will be higher than this, and we will have even led the whole of northeastern region or even the whole of Kenya.
In Kitui County, a Mwengi gospel artist who dropped out of class 7 in 1997 is celebrating after scoring 309 marks in KCPE.
Mi nataka kwenda shule kama Mangu High School ama niende National School, niko na maxi 309.
Meanwhile, parents, pupils and members of the community gathered at Arno School in Soin Sub-County, Kirinyaga County to celebrate the best performance in the area. In West Pokot County, residents of the troubled Pokot Central Sub-County say they have nothing to celebrate in the just released KCPE results, as many of their children missed the examination due to insecurity. At least 5 schools, among them Cheptulel, Sopolomoi, Chesogon, Arapolo and Kisa primary schools along the West Pokot Elgeyo Marakwet border were closed 2 years ago due to insecurity.
Hakuna wanafunzi yoyote. Tunataka tu kusema kwa serikali kuu kwamba shida ambayo imechangia haya maneno yote ni ukosefu ya ulinzi katika sehemu hii.
For Legends Edition, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has defended county bosses and faulted the government for allegedly putting undue pressure on county governors in the wake of the destruction triggered by the El Nino rains. Raila, who kicked off his weekend in Migori County, said the national government should spell out mitigation measures to cushion families from the ongoing destruction.
Speaking in Masaba village in Kuria West, Migori County, Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga poked holes on statements by the government in handling the devastation from the floods. Odinga, in defending governors, accused the government of failing to take charge of the situation.
Anakaa kule anajaribu kulaumu magavana, lakini magavana hawajapewa pesa ya kuangalia hii mambo kasa ya mafuriko.
He further accused the government of failing to steer the economy in the right direction. Raila at the same time emphasized his commitment to strengthening the ODM party in preparation for upcoming party primaries.
Mimi nitakuja hapa niambie nyinyi vile tunataka kujenga chama chetu cha ODM.
National Assembly Minority Whip Junet Mohamed said they will not be swayed by the recent maneuvers to weaken ODM's influence in their strongholds.
Sisi tutabaki hapa katika chama yetu ya ODM. Na kiongozi yetu nani? Raila Amolo. Hakuna mtu ambaye atabadilisha baba.
Other ODM luminaries also took a swipe at the government for allegedly failing to tame the rising cost of living.
Tell the president that the cost of living is high. Amwambie rais ama azimwambie rais. Tell the president of Kenya that all these young people are unemployed.
Odinga is on a 2-day tour in Migori for the launch of a nationwide party registration exercise.
Calls to end gender-based violence were amplified as Kenya joined the world in marking the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Female journalists were challenged to shine the spotlight on their plight in the newsrooms as they are often exposed to gender-based violence in the line of duty. Pauline Nasimiu with details of the start of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence that coincided with the launch of Activate Nairobi, a campaign to fight gender-based violence in the country.
Part of the celebrations to commemorate the day as well as mark the start of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, the International Association of Women in Radio and Television held a sensitization workshop on the safety of female journalists.
We are calling out for women journalists to unite and say no to violence against women and girls. There is no excuse that many media houses need to put in place those mechanisms where if you are harassed, you can be able to report and you can be able to get justice.
During the meeting, it was noted that the lead cause of attacks against female journalists was related to the content they churn out.
Lots of attacks happen because of the work the journalist is doing, the sensitive topics that she is tackling, the investigative reporting she is working in, or the conflict or the disasters area she is sent in. So it is relevant that she wouldn't have been into this position if not her job. So she needs that kind of protection.
The forum also noted that whereas journalists are considered gatekeepers, they too can be victims of the same.
You know, the media is in the forefront of covering gender-based violence. It should also turn the mirror on itself and realize that they can easily also fall into the trap of being violated.
In a separate event, gender rights activists were at the University of Nairobi for a roundtable discussion that culminated in the launch of Active Nairobi, a campaign to fight gender-based violence. They championed for inclusivity, the need to amplify diverse voices and create opportunities to empower women.
When women, especially young women, including young women with disability, are actively involved in policy formation and implementation, the resulting strategies are more comprehensive, resilient, and sustainable.
Finally, Bungoma, Kwale, Mombasa, and Kajiado have been identified as the top 4 counties where cases of child labor and exploitation are on the rise. According to the International Labour Organization, cases of child employment and sexual exploitation were most prevalent in agriculture-rich and coastal counties, respectively.
Communities, especially vulnerable households that are sending their children to work early. As you may know, it is illegal to employ an underage child.
The theme for the 16 days of activism is Unite, Invest to Prevent Violence Against Women and Girls. Pauline Nasimiu, for Legends Edition.
It's time for a quick break and we'll be back in a short while. Stay with us.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu awabariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani I'm just happy.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aliwajeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi. Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako.
Welcome back. A section of non-state actors with the assistance of the Slovak embassy in Kenya have undertaken to continue assisting communities in Asal areas to resolve conflicts and create a sustainable peace. The commitment was made during a major challenge event convened to discuss governance challenges and issues faced by women in northeastern Kenya, such as radicalization and violent extremism. This comes as Kenya joined the world in marking the start of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
Epuka Ugaidi, a non-governmental organization based in Nairobi, organized a high-level dialogue event in partnership with the Embassy of Slovakia to deliberate governance changes and security issues faced by women from the northeastern region. This was a culmination of several activities rolled out under the Women Against Terrorism.
We need to highlight what inequalities exist, governance, peace and security, and this is an ongoing conversation. Aside from just having this conversation, there is an advocacy bit to it. We're going to still keep on campaigning to bring to light what women are going through and ideally creating more spaces for them to have a voice, for them to be the change.
Slovak Embassy has been involved strongly in the theme of the empowerment of the girls and women. We believe that more than 50% of the populations are consisted of women and girls, and therefore it would not be wise and clever not to use their potential and involvement in decision-making process and solutions that are so needed.
The dialogue meeting was held amid concern that women in the region face numerous obstacles but suffer in silence, especially in the face of radicalization and violent extremism.
Women are affected. Women are the most vulnerable in the community. The women are left behind with all the responsibility when the men are radicalized. Now the people are aware of radicalization and how to overcome it and how to not get engaged in it.
This was the best program ever in our county, especially Garissa County. And this will really even prove more women to be looking forward to come on board at the Kiana broadcast series.
Slovak embassy to Kenya Katarina Leligdonova reiterated women's involvement in peace processes and conflict resolution boosts chances of success.
We would like to support women and girls to be a little bit more empowered, to have a little bit more say in the decision-making measures in security, governance, and help them to fight against the consequences of the climate crisis or other global challenges such as radicalization.
It's been a series of conversations, research, and what we do is create a space for women using tech. So last year we trained 60 women in Nairobi. This year we took the conversation to Garissa, and we wanted to highlight some of the issues that women in ASOL spaces experience.
The event coincided with the start of the global 16 days of activism against gender-based violence campaign. The meeting ended with a commitment to sustain advocacy for women in marginalized societies to achieve transformational change.
A family in Harambe village, Kirinyaga County, is appealing to well-wishers to help them raise over 700,000 shillings for their mother to undergo chemotherapy sessions for breast cancer. Alice Mushiri was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2022.
From a distance, Alice Mushiri appears to be in good health. A story that can only be narrated by her daughter, Joan Mukami.
So far ameenda kimo tatu, ya kwanza akaenda, it is very expensive.
Joan says that since 2022 things have never been the same for the family.
So kuna dawa haziko pale Kenyatta, tunaambiwa tununue za kusuppress ile effects ya kimo isimgalie sana. So hizo tunagharamikia, tunanunua.
The family says it has drained everything to cater for their ailing mother's medical expenses.
Tumedeplete all our assets. One, tumeuza, mama alikuwa na nguruwe na fuga. So nguruwe zote tumeuza ndio tupate matibabu ya chemotherapy.
The family is now seeking to raise 700,000 shillings to cover for chemotherapy costs.
For that journey, we require 700,000 so that we can complete that journey of sickness of our mom Alice Wakadhari Mushiri.
Contributions can be sent via M-Pesa paybill number 6549089 or M-Pesa number 0723969097. Parsai Frederick reporting for Legends Edition.
The proposal by the state to increase land service fees continue to elicit varied reactions, with players in the real estate market saying the move will negatively impact the cost of homes and land ownership in the country. Patrick Malia, a player in the real estate market, termed the proposal unfair and out of reach for most Kenyans. The Lands Ministry has proposed amendments to the law, increasing some land charges that have remained unchanged for years.
Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome's proposal to revise certain land levies upwards sparked uproar across the country. Players in the real estate sector now adding their voice to the debate, saying if adopted, the move will hurt Kenyans who are already struggling with a rising cost of living and increased taxes. Patrick Malia, a property investor, has urged the government to rescind the decision, noting this will hurt the sector.
The pain is going more to the common mwananchi. And now if you take such which was done from 500 to 2,000, that's also painful. Taxation is good, but sometimes you also have to look at numbers. If you tax too much, it means that more will not consume. But if you reduce taxation and increase the consumers, you'll achieve your target for the collection.
Malia, who spoke during the issuance of land titles, further called on Kenyans purchasing land or homes to ensure they conduct due diligence to avoid being duped.
So don't buy land where there's no title deed. The issue of Mavoko, there's no title deed. Nobody gave you a title deed. You just went, you are shown a property and start building. Don't build without having that document called a title deed.
In a Gazette notice, CS Lands Alice Wahome proposed changes to 3 acts, namely land adjudication, land registration, and community land. Joan Junge for Legends Edition.
COMESA is one of the 8 regional economic communities recognized by the African Union and has a membership of 21 member states with a population of over 600 million people. Covers quite a wide area, ranging from membership from as far north as Tunisia and as far south as Eswatini.
COMESA's mission is to make trade easier. Its headline projects, programs, and initiatives focus on 4 types of integration.
Watch the COMESA Briefly documentary on Monday, the 27th of November at 6:30 p.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Cheza Loto Moto.
We've gone ahead tukamaliza pia school fees ya your other kid.
Thank you, God. Asante sana Loto Moto.
Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
Christine, mimi mwanamke na wewe na pitch.
What have you smoked? Usinihesabu tafadhali. I'm going to boil water.
Kwanza hiyo maji sana. Usinihesabu.
Na jina kwaje?
Ako sawa.
Does Alex know?
Ana haja hata na ule mtoto alikuwa akipata na yeye.
Why do you say so?
Alinunulia Trish night dress. Ukisikia nimeandikwa kazi na baba Felix, unaweza sikia vibaya.
Mama Javadi, sasa na hii miaka yako yote utafanya kazi gani?
Na wewe, hauna mahali pengine pa kutembea? Ni hapa tu. Wewe shinda hapa.
Unani utaniharibia kazi? Jackie.
Welcome back. Local media practitioners have been urged to embrace transparency in dispensing their mandates at their workplaces. This as media was urged to stick to objectivity in their reporting. This and more in the County News Roundup.
Practitioners from Reporters Without Borders have been urged to embrace transparency in dispensing their mandates at their workplaces in a bid to safeguard the right to freedom of information.
Needs education.
In Nairobi County, education stakeholders says there's a need for collaboration from all stakeholders in order to get rid of glaring gaps in the competency-based curriculum education and make it a success.
The essence of METIS is to be able to strengthen education innovations.
In Kiambu County, traders of Juja Market have staged demonstration outside the county government headquarters over what they claim as harassment by the market committee.
Hiyo soko imekuwa shida sababu watu hata kunyang'anywa vibada, wamenyang'anywa sikiuzwa. Kwa nini inauziwa wageni na watu wa Juja wako? Na kuna time nyingine tulikuwa tumeongea na tukasema watu wetu wamenyanyaswa.
Meanwhile, over 2,500 homesteads at the Silio Settlement Scheme in Laikipia County will benefit from 3-year plan of provision of water for small-scale irrigation.
Tuko na furaha sana juu hii maji imefika huku. Juberani tulikuwa na shida sana, hatungepanda hata kaboga. Sasa tutakuwa tunapanda boga hata kama ni hapa nje na watoto wanakula.
And camel milk producers in Chari Ward, Isiolo County have benefited from a solar-powered milk cooling plant by the drought resilience that preserves milk through refrigeration.
Usually, most of the time when it's wet season, a lot of milk is wasted because of spoilage due to no enough preservation in this area.
Finally, the National Environmental Management Authority has partnered with the Abagusi Culture and Development Council to boost environmental conservation efforts among local communities.
Environmental conservation is not only the work of government, but all of us. It requires concerted effort. That's where we're here. We have made several agreements with these elders, and one of the agreements is that they are going to include environmental conservation as one of their main objectives.
Abdullahi Ali, The Legend Edition.
After abusing drugs and struggling with consequences for 20 years, Joseph Kabochi found a breakthrough and embarked on a new journey. He joined a theological college and graduated with a diploma certificate, and he's now an administering pastor and a gospel music artist. Here now is the story of the 36-year-old pastor and founder of a rehabilitation home for drug addicts, filed by Akida Kasim.
kwa ishafika point mpaka nataka kuacha pombe. Unaona yenyewe marafiki wangu wengi marafiki wamekufa juu hiyo pombe nikiona tu. So pia mimi kwa ona mimi ndio
niko na uda tu bange. Mimi nilikuwa pedra. Kwangu kulikuwa wasichana walikuwa nakuja. Mimi nilikuwa kama mama wao.
And then nikajipata sasa niko deep kwa madawa na nikaanza kutegemea mwanaume kwa sababu singeweza kujinunulia. So tukakuwa na urafiki na yeye juu ananipea hiyo madawa na nikajipata niko na mimba. Na that time nika lose hope.
It is at this homestead where men and women battling drug abuse congregate every day for the word of God and advice, perhaps one way that will help them to break free from narcotics. Joseph Kabochi, commonly known as Countryman, is a reformed drug addict and now an anti-drug campaigner.
As an advocate for these drug addicts, Countryman Kabochi making his all efforts to break drug abuse and alcoholism among the youths.
His story of drug abuse started after he lost his single mother at the age of 11 years. He says his extended family rejected him soon after his mother's burial.
Na kurudi nikapata na shosho yangu akaniambia mimi si wao, mamangu ndiye alikuwa wao. But later nilianza kujua kumbe ni pesa zilikuwa zimeachwa kwa account na mamangu zilikuwa zimeachwa na mamangu so that hao anataka kukula.
What started as experimental drug use will dump him in a 20-year addiction.
Wetu na kunywa changa hiyo na pia natumia tudawa tunaitwa Martain, Masi na pia nakula jaba nikipata pesa, vitu kama hizo na sigara.
After sitting the KCPE examination, Kabochi was recruited in the world of crime, starting off with petty crimes to ensure he afforded the drugs. He was in and out of prison. From the age of 17 years, he acquired a gun.
Nilikuwa navuta fegi na nilikuwa bado navuta bangi. And then your time, ukiwa jela kuna vitu unaweza kuwa mauru, yani unaweza kuwa Cairo, mtu wa kuosha choo, unaweza kuwa mende, unakuwa homosexual kwa jela. Vitu hizo zinapenigi. So mimi nikakuwa mtu wa kuoshaga choo. Na ndio nipate sigara because mimi already sasa lazima ni satisfy yaka ka need Kenya already nimejiwekelea. Nikaona watu wengine wameuawa, wenye walikuwa mautero sana, nikaona wenye wamekufa, risasi imeingilia hapo wamepasuka na huku. Mimi nikasema sitaki kukufa hivyo. Kabidi niuze hiyo bunduki.
The KAG took him up and embarked on a 1-year rehabilitation program. David Opembe's story is similar to that of Kabochi. Opembe recovered after 8 years of battling the din of drug abuse and now is helping others to overcome the addiction.
Urafiki yangu ndio alikazana juu pia kujileta si rahisi, haiko rahisi. Kuachana hizi vitu si rahisi. Lazima vita, lazima hadi ufight. Ajua pia mimi muelezea ndio maana kwa mimi nikitoka kazi saa nyingine mapema mpaka nipitie huko. Nikiambia kila mmoja yani nikiweka hadi pamoja kuelezea venye kuko na pia nawaambianga mimi si ule mtu kutoka mbali nitakuja kuwadanganya ama nini. Mimi ni mtu wanajua na wameona. So mimi ni kama mfano kwao. Waone kwangu pia wajua wanaweza change.
Apart from preaching and counseling, Kabochi and Opembe are also trained in cottage industries and are involved in enlightening other reformed addicts on how to start and run small businesses like soap making through a program called The Turning Point, supported by the KNG New Beginning Church along the Mirema Drive at Roysambu.
Kama saa hizi kuna training ya Wednesday. Kuna mademo wanatrainio kuanza business zao, already washapitia hiyo yote. Sasa wako kwa process ya compliance ya kuregister their businesses. Hao wengine walevi, kuna project hapa tunatengenezaga like 100 liters ya sabuni yao. Mtu ananunua kwa half price and then anapelekea watu wenye wamechange kama watu 4 wanauza sabuni saa hizi. Because now sisi kazi yetu ni kuset watu free. And then unaweza enda mahali unataka. Unaweza enda place yote work ama ufanye kenye unataka. Hata tukuambia ukuje church hapa. Tunakufunza wewe mahali utakuwa stand out na utaweza kusurvive anywhere.
After venye waliniongelesha nimechange na sasa nafanya course ya automotive engineering.
Sasa tunatengeneza sabuni ile sasa tunachukua tunaenda tunauza, tunapata pesa zetu. Hiyo pesa ndio tunakula.
Kabochi is casting his net wide to capture more and more people trapped in drug abuse.
Bodies of 3 Mombasa County workers who drowned while trying to unclog a manhole last evening in Makupa, Mvita constituency have been retrieved. 4 of the 7 casual county workers attached to the transport department who were deployed to work on the clogged manhole were rescued after the sewerage line caved in. Local leadership led by Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasser has urged residents to take caution following intensified rains. The county government at the same time attributed the incident to poor planning of the drainage system.
One thing is clear, because when they were putting the road, what was coming in was 900 diameter drainage system feeding into a 600. So when you get 4 of 900 feeding into 600, it becomes a big problem. So this whole stretch will have to be cut off. We have notified, I've asked the team to make sure that they work with Kenha, because they're the ones who had done this road. We'll be left with no choice, but we have to cut open this particular road to avoid a mishap like this again. Again, with the President having today confirming that these rains seem to be here with us to stay, we have to make sure that we're not going to come back to this situation again. On the part of Bombolulu, I'm equally informed that Kenha have agreed their meeting with the county team so that to be able to now properly design something that can be a permanent solution.
Right, it's time for another short break and we'll be back pretty soon. Stay with us.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu awabariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani hamtasabi.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aliwajeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi.
Roma niendanga, Roma.
Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
The stage is set for a showcase of young talents as Kenya hosts the Sekafa Under-18 Championship from the 25th of November to 8th of December in Kisumu and Kakamega. Kenya, Sudan, Rwanda, Somalia, Zanzibar, South Sudan and Uganda are battling for the title in the 2-week tournament. The group phase matches are scheduled 25th of November to 1st of December. Then the semi-finals will be played on 5th of December and the final on 8th of December, all in Kisumu. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
From the dawn of independence to the present day, Kenya has journeyed with strength and determination. We celebrate Kenya at 60. As we mark this incredible milestone, KBC and Jamboree present an unforgettable celebration of culture, music, and awareness. Immerse yourself in a musical journey featuring global sensations like the mighty Itolls and Everton Blender, all the way from Kingston, Jamaica, along with our incredible homegrown artists. But it's not just about the music. Join us for a day of cancer awareness with free cancer screenings. In addition, we will have a fun-filled family day, including horse riding, bouncing castles for the kids, and a special tree planting exercise. Save the dates as we tour a county near you. Ticket information is available on our social media handles at Jamboree Festival KRE. Join the celebration, feel the rhythm, and make memories that will last a lifetime. Happy birthday, Kenya.
Welcome back. Turpi Liambila is all set to join us with the latest in sports.
Yeah, thank you very much, my colleague Fayyaz. It's actually another day, another Saturday on the Legends Edition, and we've got plenty packed up for you, starting with Sekafa. The Under-18 National Soccer Team Junior Stars started this year's Sekafa Under-18 campaign on a high note, thrashing Sudan 5-0 in their Group A opener played at Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu. In other matches played at the same venue, Rwanda narrowly beat Somalia 1-0.
Kenya are top of Group A of the 2023 Sekafa Under-18 Championship with 3 points after humiliating Sudan 5-0 in their first match played at the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu. Louis Ingavi gave the host the lead in the 7th minute before Tyrone Kariuki and Adrien Kibet scored 2 quick goals in the 29th and 32nd minute.
Kariuki. Anakuja mzima mzima sasa Mansour Okwaro. Wanakuja Kibe.
With the match heading to the halftime, Ingavi scored his second and the side's fourth in the 4th minute of added time.
Ingavi!
In the second half, the Junior Stars continued their domination and were awarded the 5th goal in the 88th minute through Eli Owande. In the other match of the group, Rwanda beat Somalia 1-0. Tomorrow, the action will shift to Buhungu Stadium in Kakamega with 2 matches on card. Zanzibar will face South Sudan at 12 noon before Tanzania take on Uganda at 3 p.m. in a match that will be televised live on KBC Channel 1 and Y254. Junior Stars will face Rwanda in the second Group A game on Tuesday. For Legends Edition, I'm Fred Njogu.
Now, the famous Kericho Green Stadium has been officially renamed after Kiprugut Chumo, who was the first Kenyan to win a medal at the 1964 Olympic Games. Wilson Kiprugut Arap Chumo competed at the 1964 Tokyo and 1968 Mexico Olympics and won 2 medals in the 800-meter event. Sela, that's our story.
Sports Cabinet Secretary Babu Namwamba, who presided over the ceremony held at the stadium, said the renaming is the most significant activity he has ever done in his work.
This activity we do this morning is so special. It is loaded with so much symbolism. It carries so much significance for who we are as a country.
During Mashujaa Day celebration in Kirinyaga County, President William Ruto announced that the stadium will be renamed Kiprugat Chumo in honor of the legendary athlete who passed last year. Principal Secretary Peter Tum promised to continue with the upgrading of the stadium to international standards, which will help athletes to nurture their talents.
Being present here until we make sure that this Kiwanja here
is put to the standard.
Wilson Kiprogat Arab Chumo competed at the 1964 Tokyo and 1968 Mexico Olympics and won 2 medals in the 800 meters event. He was the first person from Kenya ever to win an Olympic medal. For Legends Edition, I'm Sila Unyango.
Now, from hockey, Kenya's Western Jaguars were held to a 2-2 draw by defending champions Sharkia from Egypt at the ongoing African Hockey Club Championships in Blantyre, Malawi. The Kenyan team netted the 2 goals through Ndombi Edison and Wiswa Emmanuel in the 39th and 53rd minute respectively, while the Egyptians got their goals from Masaken Shogobran, Hossam and Al-Shami. In other matches, Kenya's Blazers thrashed Capital Braves from Malawi 12-0. The top 2 teams at the end of the round-robin matches will face off in the finals in both the men and women's categories.
Titani mwina wene tikati kupita kwa kapumulira ngati Braves kuti abwere masolo amene fatu kune kuti no kwambiri utakuona.
Talanta Kibwezi Youth Mentorship Sports Association Football Tournament, which will run till the end of the year, has been launched. Speaking during the event, Kibwezi West Member of Parliament Mwengi Mutuse said the tournament will be used to scout young players who will later join the Kenya Academy of Sports, aiming to be included in the national soccer team in the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations preparations. He said he will work closely with the Ministry of Sports to ensure that they introduce a county soccer tournament in the area. Also in attendance was former Harambe Stars captain Musa Otieno, motivated the presidents on the importance of sports in the country.
Tumeanza tournament ya football ya wa vijana, football ya wasichana, pia volleyball ya vijana na volleyball ya wasichana. Na itaanza katika mashinani. Tuko na timu karibu 276 za football na timu karibu 120 za volleyball ambazo tayari zimejiandikisha kushiriki.
Ya mashinani, mali vijana ambao wanajua hawana hope. Kipata mheshimiwa ambao anakuja nataka vijana kuangalia nini wanaweza fanya upande wa talanta ambao wako nayo. Sisi tunasimama hapa kama watu ambao walikuwa benefit kwa talent na kama Mkenya ambao hii talent imeweza kuchezea timu ya taifa.
Now, Harambe Stars will miss the services of forward Gentrix Shikangwa when they face Botswana in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier match next week due to injury. The former Vihiga Queen striker was injured during training, while the team has been boosted by the arrival of Marjolin Nekesa, who plays for SK Slavia Praga in the Czech Republic. Nekesa was part of the team that played Cameroon in the final round, but didn't play due to injury. A win for the Starlets in the 2-leg match will qualify them for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations for the second time in 7 years. Akinyi, the story.
So far the camp has been great. The mood in the camp is amazing, and you can see all the players and coaches are ready to face Botswana. Qualifying for AFCON is a great opportunity for Kenya as a country, and especially for the players and coaches, because it's a platform for them to get an exposure and also to get a chance to qualify for World Cup.
Now, Sofapaka shared spoils for the FC Leopards with the FC Leopards after playing to a 1-0 draw in an entertaining Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Leopards' Brian Yahama scored the first in the 69th minute before Sofapaka scored an equalizer shortly before the breather. Meanwhile, league leaders Posta Rangers registered a comfortable 3-1 win over Shabana FC, while Nairobi City Stars beat Kariobangi Sharks 3-1 at the Kasarani Annex. Bandari FC were held to 1-1 draw by Talanta FC in a match played at the Mbaraki Sports Club in Mombasa. Tomorrow, 5 matches are on the card. Muhoroni Youth will face Gor Mahia. Muranga Seals play KCB. Nzoia Sugar lock horns with Police FC. Ulinzi Stars play Kakamega Homeboys, while Bidco United will face Tusker FC at the Kasarani Annex Stadium. Now in handball, Desert Scorpions defeated NYS 33-3 in a thrilling handball league match played at the Nyayo National Stadium. Desert Scorpions led in the first half and went on to win 33-30 over NYS men's team. In the second game, Scorpions came back from 9-14 scoreline to win 23-22 against Young City. In the women's competition, NYS also suffered a defeat after they lost 22-32 to New Hope, and also lost their second game 21-22 to Mountain Queens. Meanwhile, Nairobi Water won 30-27 over NCPB after leading in both halves. Tomorrow, Young City will face TUK, while Desert Scorpions will be with JKUAT at the Nyayo National Stadium. In other matches, NYS will play Daystar, while TUK will square with Strathmore. In the women's games, JKUAT will face Mountain Queens and Daystar meet NYS. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold's late equalizer gave Liverpool a point against Manchester City as the game ended in a 1-1 draw in an entertaining English Premier League match played at the Etihad Stadium. Erling Haaland put the hosts ahead in the 27th minute before Trent Alexander-Arnold equalized in the 80th minute to share the spoils. And that is all we had for you this Saturday evening from the sports desk. We hope that you join us again next weekend for another Bambi edition of the sports segment of the Legends edition next Saturday. Now it's over to my colleague and friend Fayyaz Qureshi to wrap up. This is Topi Liambila saying remember to join us at the Rumba Bridge over Congo. I can see them setting up, and it will be business as usual with Mfumo and Winnie Marie-Jose and DJ Salim. Don't forget, it's a date.
As I always say, that's Topi Liambila at his best with sports news. And that's all from our newsroom. I am Fayyaz Qureshi. Have a good night.